Good morning, everyone. It is Josh P here, and welcome back to Raft. Now, I did a little bit of farming off camera, and I got some more materials, and as promised, I did not expand the base any. The only thing I added were some more lights, and then these chests to hold some of the stuff that we were farming. I was able to get a good amount of food in and keep up on water, so now I have 2 extra cups that I can cycle in and out, and a ton of food on the side, so we can just get right into the base building side of this game. Now, I have my nets just packed with stuff, and the reason for that is if I try to hold anything else, it's going to drop it in these cute little barrel forms, but the problem is they roll right off the edge, so I'm not going to waste the material. But while I was farming, I did discover a couple of different things, which I'll show you along the way. But primarily which is this guy over here can die. And when he does die, look at this. You can get shark meat from him. So that is awesome. So you get about 4 pieces of shark meat every time they die. So this is actually the 3rd shark that we've had now. So this is no longer Richard. I've decided this one is Aaron. So let's just go and jump right in. While I was farming, and Aaron's already trying. Oh, there we go. He's already trying to compete with Richard. So this gives me a chance to show you another thing that I learned. I learned how to actually get to the other things that I can build in this game. And oddly enough, it's by right-clicking. It opens up this wheel. And there's also a little repair tool, and these do take structural damage. So if I stop them fast enough, it will save it, but I'll still have to repair. So that's good to know. But while I was doing the farming, I had a good amount of time to think. And I think the first thing I want to do before I start trying to build up is I want to go ahead and expand my foundation to roughly the size of what I think it's going to take to build this epic base all the way to the top. So we're just going to start out by expanding this to a pretty big platform to work off of. So by the time we get to actually building up, we're going to have a lot to work with here. Oh, almost fell right off the edge there. So we're just going to get straight into working on that. And this video is probably going to be going up pretty late as well today. Ended up being a lot more busy than I was anticipating. But busy in this case was good. It was a very productive day again. I'm also getting ready. I have some family coming into town, and they'll be staying with me over this weekend and a little bit into next week. So I got to prepare for that as well. Today was really productive. I ended up going to a lunch meeting today at this all-you-can-eat sushi restaurant, which generally speaking, if it's all-you-can-eat sushi, I tend to avoid it. But the person that I was having this meeting with was insistent on going here. So I listened to them, and it was actually really good. But the problem with that is I ate way too much. So I was miserable for the rest of the day. But that is alright. Never complain when you have a lot of a good thing. I think that's definitely wide enough. Let's go ahead and start expanding it outward. Let's see what we can do. That's a pretty good size right there. I'm gonna have to go back into farming because unfortunately inventory fills up really fast. And it's mostly filling up with metal, which I just might start chucking into the ocean soon enough because I have way too much of it and not much that I need it for. I need it for these lamps, but beyond that, I don't think there's much else I can do with it. I think this furniture, requires nails But I think this is just cosmetic. I don't think it actually serves any purpose here. The main thing I would like to see is a way to passively fend off this shark without me having to pay attention. Because especially with the base getting as big as it's about to be, keeping an eye on him is going to turn into the real challenge. It's going to become really difficult, really fast. That's alright, otherwise, for the most part, the survival side of this game just really not a huge issue once you get past a certain point. After you get to a certain point, it kind of all just comes together and it just becomes a really straightforward survival game. Well, it turns into more of a crafting game after that, but no, that's alright. Minecraft is primarily used as a crafting game, and everyone knows how popular that has become. I think I might be out of wood, so let's go ahead and put down these last few foundations real quick. Then I'll go ahead and clear out my nets now that I actually have space for this. So eventually this is just simply going to turn into like a raft city. It's not really going to be just a raft at that point. This is really looking pretty big. What I'm curious about, you can see where those barrels kind of like is stuck at. Don't you come over here. You stay away from my net. You fuck right off. I already killed 2 of your brothers. Don't think you're not next. So you can see that barrel is kind of just stuck there. I wonder if there's anything beyond that. Or if that's just the render point. And everything beyond that is kind of just basically like a texture map and it's not really there. So we might actually try to expand out and see how far we can actually go to see if this is just a limitless world or if there are just bounds and it's just what is rendered is what's right in front of us. That's another thing we might be able to test. Oh crap. Good, you're not rolling off the edge. So let's... I don't need a food right now. I got plenty of food. I do need that water though. I don't want to lose that cup. That's the biggest concern, is that cup. Actually, there before we make the same mistake twice. Let's do this. And there we go. And see what I mean? I already have 25 metal in here. I have nothing to use the metal on. And we have one of these chests. It's just already pretty packed with metal. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably just make a bunch more of these torches and scatter them around. I don't want to get too far on placing these torches just yet because these pillars, I don't know what the structural requirement for those pillars are, so I don't know the spacing for them yet. So until I figure that out, I don't want to place these down and just limit myself. Or even worse, have it, you know, not look pretty. I think that would be the true crime right there. Speaking of, I saw something that annoyed me. So all of the planks are facing fine, same exact direction, same way, all uniform except for this one. Actually, I just noticed there's 2. That is irritating. So I don't know. I saw an axe. I don't know if I can use that to like break down materials. Like in case I accidentally place something where I don't want it. Hopefully. Because that might actually just bug me in the long run. We'll see. Not crazy, I just like things to look a certain way, and that certain way is, you know, uniform. I mean, I think that's how most people are. If they're all randomly scattered and there was no particular rhyme or reason, they changed rotation randomly whenever you placed it, it wouldn't bother me in the slightest. But the fact that everything else is following a certain pattern and those 2 diverge, oh, that just makes my brain itch. It is not a happy time. think we might be getting close to the limit here, and we might have to do some more farming. So even with a good amount of nets, it still seems like it takes a fair decent amount of time to be able to gather up the materials to do massive amounts of expansions. You better not be coming over here again. Oh, you are going to do some... That's right, you better. So it looks like it's going to take a good amount of time to actually gather the resources to do massive base building. But I decided, I saw these, they're the large plots. Right over in here, the large planter, the tree crop plots. I have, where are you? Right over here, I have palm seeds. So we can plant these and use the axe. That'll probably help us get a lot more wood a little bit faster. And probably get several of these going right along here once we get kind of more materials and more built up. But I think we're going to have to call this soon. I'm going to have to do some work off camera. Oh, look, we already have a little palm tree. And it's growing in real time. That's cool. That is a cool feature. It's not just like periodic renderings. It's actually growing right in front of you. So we might actually hold off until I can harvest one of these and see what they give us. Because those are actually look like they're growing up kind of fast. So yeah, let's go and do that. I'm going to go ahead and just farm a little bit and wait for those to grow up, and I'll come back when we're ready to chop one down. I'll see you guys in a second. Alright guys, so it looks like it stopped growing. It's about a 6-minute growth cycle, so it's not too fast, but it's definitely pretty quick. Oh, I heard something. Did I get it? Oh, I have to hold it. Okay. I guess that's one way to do it. Please tell me I don't have to remove the plot the entire time. That is going to get annoying if that's the case. Let's try on this one. Oh, no, I see. Okay, so, nope, 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 you come here. So that was just because I was probably looking at the frame of it when I was doing it. Okay, so let's see. It gave us about 15 thatch and about a little over 20 wood. That's fairly useful, actually. We can definitely do something with that. And 4 coconuts. I'm pretty sure I probably lost the coconuts from this one, so it'll probably give you 4 coconuts each time. So this is definitely worthwhile. We might start a little tree farm too to help do this. But I think I'm going to do some farming off screen and get to a point where we can start doing some cool stuff with this real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this episode here. Thank you all so much for watching. And until we see each other again, goodbye.